Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It is late spring in year one, and I believe it's turn 14, and I am joined by Marilyn once again.
Hello, my friends.
Yes, and so we're back. We had an exciting episode last time with the beginning of hostilities breaking out, and I think it would be fair to say, Marilyn, that Mictlan and Pythium aren't looking so hot.
No, but keep in mind, some hostilities by probing, Xibalba kind of jumped the gun ahead of the others. But now we've got this multiple nation war that has conglomerated.
Right.
So both Mictlan and Pythium. Well, you asked last time, or you asked for a summary, and I said, well, my summary is Pythium's not long for the game and Mictlan's not long for the game.
All right. So let's see if that bears out. We have a message from Mictlan. Getting attacked by Jotun, obviously. The timing is a bit awkward, just before Eagle production ramps up from the extra forts. In retrospect, I probably should have gone Dom 7 plus Dom 6. Or Dom 6 is enough if all goes well, but higher Dominion really helps in an early crisis. Now, what he means by this is Dom 7 is not going to help him, most likely, get that many more Eagles out of all the forts he builds. He'll be limited by rec points or something else. But it does help him get more Eagle Warriors or Sacreds out of his capital.
How much are Eagles in rec points? Because they're not usually resources constrained.
Yeah, we can check.
I'm just having a look.
I'll finish reading this and then we'll pull that right up.
Go ahead. Yeah.
But it costs a full scale point. I'm obviously on the back foot at this time, but hopefully to rebound shortly. Oh, that's going to be hard. So they are 14.
I can't tell the rec points in the mod inspector.
Yeah.
Well, 14, yeah. Yeah, if you don't get a decent probably 10,000 population province, yeah, you're right. He will be rec point limited.
But his order, yeah. I think in it, yeah, like here he's got 140.
Well, that's 10.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
that could be 10.
I would think he's just gold limited.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Okay, so let's see what happens. So last turn he had taken this and this, and he had failed to take this and failed to take this. And Mictlan held these two provinces, but at grave cost. And so this turn he has come down here, and Mictlan just trying to do these budget defenses.
And lost another 4 Eagles.
Yeah.
One thing Mictlan didn't mention in his note is that his attrition for Sacreds has been incredibly high.
Yeah.
Most nations can't afford that much attrition, sacred attrition, in the early game.
Right. And so here, and he'll say that, I think he has a note he wrote in the game, like the game channel later, and he'll basically say that, but yeah, it was omitted from the note he just sent us.
Well, it's just something we've commented kind of throughout watching Mictlan, is that he's just had high levels of attrition with Jaguars and Eagles kind of continuously. And none of them were devastating in each battle, but when you lose half of your Eagles or half your Jaguars every time they fight,
yeah. And I think it's just, we talked about this a good bit last time, but I think he's just playing this. He's playing his nation wrong. Like and not that the build is wrong, but his whole premise is built on overwhelming the enemy in numbers. And in expansion, he hasn't respected that. He's tried to do these very budget expansions where he is overwhelmed in numbers.
Yes. Well, and Eagles are really cheap Sacreds at 15 gold.
Yeah.
And even Jags at 26 are very cost effective with the 2 4s. So it's not a lot of reason to be too budget expand. Because you're not talking about like vans when you're paying, 65 gold each, right?
Right. So this is this loss here, he tried to defend this, and he had to defend this province. And what I mean by had was he had another fort coming up. If he couldn't keep these 3 forts, I don't think he had a shot. So
Can we watch that fight? Because I noticed something, that he lost fewer Moon Warriors than Eagles. Now, of course, the Eagles leap into the back,
Yeah, and immediately
I'm
die.
just wondering if earlier on he had started making more of these moon warriors. And this is
I think they're going to get
2020.
routed before they get there is what's going to happen.
Oh, okay. Well, they hit pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, there's some other kind of minor things with scripting too. Like, if your Eagle Warriors are going to jump in, I think you want them to hit at the same time as your other guys. So, like, forward position stuff, have them immediately run in attack, run in with your PD.
Yeah.
But
Jotun has gone way to the far back, which inevitably will draw your Eagles from any support.
The only way around that, and this is like really mouth breathing try hard, but you can have your Eagles on guard commander, and you have your commander retreat to release your Eagles to run forward.
Oh, okay.
And so you can time that then on like turn 3 or 4, whenever you think you want them to make contact.
Well, that's pretty good. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a scripting trick I hadn't really thought too much about.
Yeah.
I've used the putting important sacreds on guard commander with the commander on hold attack until it's timed right. But retreating, that's a good suggestion. Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
But Eagles are unique, right? Because they're a battle-only flying sacred.
Right.
And that's an oddball.
Yeah, that's pretty abnormal.
The only other thing I could think of that might have helped him, and this is all, Monday morning quarterbacking, but it might have helped him to buy something fast with high combat speed to rush forward, pin Jotun's front line, tie it up a little bit, and then have the Eagles come in.
Yeah.
But it'd have to be something really, really fast, like light cavalry.
Yeah. I mean, that could work.
Well, I've used a similar technique, but more often in the water where you've got crazy 30 combat speed units. So you can pin a squad.
The other thing that you can do, and I think it would have been better to do here, is you put the Eagles on line formation with the Tribal King.
And then they walk.
Because it just doesn't... Having them run in... The thing is, you kind of play to their strength. Like, if you have the numbers advantage, flying is great. If the enemy has the numbers advantage, which they did at the beginning when he jumps everybody into the back, and then it's really bad. So...
Well, and this is the second turn against Jotun. Jotun has tightened up his formations to be sure commander sniping isn't going to succeed.
Right.
So the commander sniping is lost.
Yeah. So the wall is really caving in now, because now he can do a consolidate everything on top of Mictlan's cap.
Well, and Jotun is in an amazingly good position.
Right.
Because he's basically uncontested for all of Mictlan's land. Because nobody's... Oh, here comes Bandar, maybe.
Yeah, Bandar may choose to vulture. Ashdod has backed off. We were thinking they might come in and try to vulture this, but...
He did. And there's no sign of Ulm paying attention to this.
Right.
And we've already been told that Pan has planned to go east, not west.
Yeah.
This could put Jotun in a tremendously good position.
Yeah. There's winning your first war, but winning your first war as a 2v1 is not as good as winning it in a 1v1 and getting literally all of somebody's land.
Well, right now, Jotun could grab that southern fort, lock it down, lock down the cap, and then basically he's taken every chunk of Mictlan really available.
Yeah. So Mictlan, I think they're before it was desperate, but the desperation I think is gone and it's checkmate now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So everyone pour one out.
He just lost two turns worth of capital improvement because he just lost 14.
And even if he does some heroic defense now, like let's say he puts everything in PD on his capital, he has these guys, they're scripted perfectly, has all his mages summoning whatever it is they can, or doing whatever buff they can, and he barely repels all this. I mean, there's just an engine now behind him, and that would have cost him all of his Eagle Kings he's ever made.
And notice that he's got no Pretender out.
Yeah.
So he went imprisoned. So there's no Titan going to save his bacon.
Is Charged Body imprisoned? I can't remember. Or Incarnate?
No, it's not Incarnate.
Oh, it's not.
That's one of the reasons we used it one time, so we could have it was in a team game, and we memed it just deliberately. but it's one of the only high-cost blesses that's not incarnate.
Huh, okay, cool.
But in this case, it's similar to a game I had where I took an imprisoned rainbow with a bless, not the same bless, but a wide bless, right?
Yeah.
And I got rushed, and not having that pretender out turn 12, 13, oh, that was painful.
Yeah.
And when it finally came, my capital was under siege, and I survived till turn 40.
Yeah.
And I made life for the guy who rushed me miserable, and he died, but there was no coming back from that.
Yeah.
That is one of the big pains of imprisoned pretenders is you get a lot of scales for it, but you better leverage those scales and that minor bless somehow.
Yeah. I mean, you have to use the tools that the nation gives you.
Mm-hmm.
And if those aren't enough, you're in a real hard situation.
This really makes me want to play Middle-Aged Mictlan again, though, because it's been years. And it's an interesting nation as a Mictlan. The way I played it in the past was a scales-based nation and use it as a troop nation because it's got some interesting troops.
Yeah.
You know, those moon warriors, there's the feathered warrior, the slingers with a shield and a spear, or just a shield, and yeah.
Well, I think it's, I mean, it's cool to think about. You have 15 gold sacreds that you can make 1 million of even with bad scales.
See, the other thing he's got is, I don't know if you looked at it, but he's got the Sun Warriors, which are his other cap only sacred instead of Jags.
Yeah, I can't remember much about those.
Well, they're cheap.
Yeah. 18 gold hatchet.
Oh, they're 18 now. They're 18.
I think you use these for the shield. I think that's the main reason you would want to get them is they have a shield.
Yeah.
And they have built-in fire resistance. So those are the two things that would make this a little special. But well,
what's her stats like? Attack is 12.
They're normal, I think. They weren't, exceptional.
So they're reasonably elite, but not crazy.
Right.
13 with 16 damage. So you'd be getting...
But it's like a bad shield. It's a 3 parry shield and a...
Right. You'd be getting 3 of these for every jag if you chose these instead of jags in your cap.
Yeah.
That probably doesn't pay off.
Well, what are they for their recruitment point? Not half. They're 2/3 of the recruitment point cost.
But you'd have to buy a little bit of production, probably.
Yeah, I mean, you build the bless for the Eagle Warriors, though, because these are your recruit anywhere. You may not use them for expansion out of your cap, but...
I just remember a case, and this is a long time ago, where I had a reason to pull some Sun Warriors out, but it was just to counter some specific thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the example in this case. I just happened to be looking at the modded Spectre going through the list and thinking.
Yeah, I mean...
Thinking of options.
In some ways, he was the opposite of Satis, whereas Satis was very, very conservative and only took things when he knew he would take no attrition. Mictlan was...
his scales...
YOLO.
His scales are not that wonderful.
Well, I mean, he has luck and he didn't tank drain. This is not a complete Hellbless.
No, not at all. But if his pretender's not out, he's either had some damn bad luck or he went imprisoned, and I would have thought better scales.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Mictlan. Coming down to the monkeys. Oh, wait, we'll do this by message, I forget. Vanheim.
Sure.
Going on Pythium's cap this turn is a big risk, but I've tested it against what I think is the worst possible scenario. Heavy PD dump on the cap, and defending with everything he has. And even then, I'm likely to win 80% of the time. Which is odd, because I thought he was going to give the cap to Xibalba.
That's what he said last turn.
So let's go check out what happened.
Well, he did it. Maybe they're just going to trade off. And Mictlan put everything on top of his cap, except that's very little PD.
Yeah, this looks like 25 PD and only about 60 units of an army, maybe. He's got these guys. He's got 4 commanders. He's got his thug here with 2 weapons. He's got this guy with the main gosh of parrying.
Second thug, mild thug.
Yeah. He's got Mind Burn coming out, which is good.
Pythium does, yeah. So
Now, this is an aggressive move from Vanheim that I don't think I would have predicted. I mean, I definitely didn't predict in our streaming, like in our casting, because he said he wasn't going to do it. He said Xibalba was going to do it.
I didn't predict it because I had thought that the Retarius would be more painful, but they're not working that well.
Yeah, they have to hit for that net attack to work.
Right. Oh, right. They're holding the vans. They're not killing them, and then the vans get around them.
I think the trick to this, I want to watch it again, because I think you have to have the ranged attack. If you're going to use normal units, the only normal units that do anything are these ranged attacks versus these elves. Let's see if he did javelins. He did some. And we see, I think that killed some of them, these javelin volleys, but...
Oh, and look at them. 2 of them got way in the back.
Yeah.
Ouch. So his formation got seriously mangled by flanking. He loses commanders, he loses magi.
Yeah, and these guys with Blood Surge are pretty good.
And that was pretty hopeless.
Yeah. So yeah, about 80 dudes did not have a PD dump. So this went probably better.
That's only 10 PD, but he had none left. Because he was at 0 last time.
Yeah. A PD dump would have given him a lot more slingers. And
Maybe
yeah. But, yeah. I mean, I think he was checkmate, so I don't know if it mattered. But he did split his army, which... I think this is one of the things is, like, when you're all in, you have to know when you're all in. And so that's one thing. Like, if you're all in, should you split your army? Probably not, because if you lose either of the armies, you're dead.
Yeah, I tend not to. He split it 3 ways, too, because he went and did the counter raid over to his east. That's
right.
Not very big, but...
Yeah. So... I mean, you can do it, but you have to realize the risk you're taking, right? And splitting your army in the face of the enemy is kind of classically a very bad idea militarily. And sometimes you do it, but if you do it, it's usually an act of deception. You know, or like you're banking on them not knowing or doing something.
But Dominions isn't like trench warfare. You can't really hold a line because it's a node-based movement system. And so... you can't spread your troops out. Even in the battle, you really don't have that ability to block all flanks by ensuring there's no chance of flanking. Something can get around the side. And it takes a hell of a lot of troops in a sparse line formation to block all possible flanking.
Yeah.
But I'm even talking at the strategic level. It's not like playing a traditional war game where you spread your divisions to be sure that you're covering 1 man for every 3 meters of front. Kind of the rule of thumb that's required to hold a line. That doesn't work in Dominions because it's node-based.
Yeah.
There's a map out there I saw one time that took a Dominions map and just turned it into colored blobs. And you can play it just fine. It just doesn't look very good. Because all of this decorative stuff we see on the map has nothing to do with the underlying mechanics.
Sure. But I think the move to split here, like when you're in an all-in position, this is the other thing that I think is maybe a learning people can take, is when you're in a desperate last stand, your forts are, the most important thing is your army.
Absolutely.
You're like, and what do I mean by that? I mean, do you care about provinces? Do you care about forts? Do you care about like raiding and taking and controlling territory? Yeah, you care about that. You care about all those things. But what do you subordinate that to? What do you care more about? You care more about your army.
Yes, you have to maintain your there's a term for that, consolidation of force or whatever. See, right now, if I was Pythium, I'd be playing Scorched Earth, burning that fort, burning that temple.
Yeah.
Making it miserable and pulling everything back to the capital.
And doing like focusing on the army and subordinating everything to the army doesn't necessarily mean you're only going to defend your capital, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're never going to split your army.
Well,
you can split your army, but you only want to split it when you're rather confident that splitting it will not result in half of your army dying.
Yes.
Right? That's what it means to subordinate things to the army. Like, okay, we have to give up a fort because I can only defend one province, and we're going to, So, I don't know. He's in a desperate position. You can't dock somebody for doing whatever they're going to do in a desperate position. But that's my take on why I don't think it's necessarily the optimal move.
Another piece sometimes, and I think every player in this game probably knows, is even if you run out of income, the amount of troops that desert is actually pretty tiny.
Yeah.
You can go a long time with only losing a very few, and commanders in Magi don't desert.
Oh my god, he raided here and here.
Oh.
He raided both of these.
Oh, geez.
So yeah, this is if you look at what he's been doing, he's subordinating the army to having territory.
Yeah, he split, what, is that 5 or 6?
Yeah, he defended, he said, I can defend this province and this province and this province and this province.
Wow.
Yeah, and yeah, you can't, I don't think you can do that.
No.
Yeah. Subordinating to the army means you're saying, how many provinces can I defend where I take, where I'm going to win the fight and I'm going to take like marginal attrition. And when you go in that mode, it's not a mode you want to be in. That is a bad way to play Dominions, but it's a mode you have to go into when you go into a desperate last stand.
Yeah, this reminds me of Battle of Waterloo, where Napoleon he knew he was outnumbered between the English and Dutch army and the German army, so he tried to defeat in detail the English first so that he could turn around and do the Germans, and it didn't work because he got beat.
Right.
But what he did is he kept his grand army all in one chunk,
right,
tight together in order to attempt a decisive battle against one. And that's kind of similar to this sort of situation. To do a historical parallel, he's got 2 significant armies coming at him. They're amalgamating into large groups. And
yeah. So that is a good parallel, I think. Napoleon was Napoleon was really a master of defeat in detail.
Yeah, he was. And actually, there's another really cool thing about Napoleon, not totally related. There's a graphic by this guy named Edward Tuff that talks about Napoleon's march on Moscow.
Oh, yeah.
And he shows the attrition, mainly due to disease and starvation, as Napoleon's army just disintegrated all the way there and all the way back to what got home was, I think, less than 10%.
Yeah, maybe even less than that. It was a very marginal group. I think that's one of the most famous infographics that was ever made. Yeah,
graphics. Yeah, it's quite wonderful, and it's 150 years old or something.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's not Edward Tufts. He just uses it as an example.
Okay, well, I think the fate of Pythium has now been sealed. He had messaged us last. Or wait, no. That's okay. That's coming up. We're jumping ahead.
Yeah, you're jumping ahead.
Yeah. So he's before it was desperate, and maybe unrecoverably desperate in the sense that it would be hard to win the game from that. But this is the turn it is switched from being desperate to being checkmate.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if you could fold over your king, now would be the time.
Yeah.
This game doesn't really provide that option, though. You can't surrender.
Right. Well, you go AI, so yeah.
But you can't give your stuff to your victor.
Right.
Well, you can, but you can't give. Anyways.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
But nobody here is going to go AI. People are going to fight to the last drop of blood is wringed from their body.
I see. Xibalba's got his Teodal out, but probably site searching.
He's got a lab here. It makes me think. I guess he was site searching. He may have also built this lab to put a kid on his god. We may see his god coming out now with a proper super combatant kit. We'll see.
Does he need a lab? He needs a lab for some of his foreign recruit. He needs it for the way, I believe, in the forest. So
Oh,
just
yeah.
a lab.
Yeah.
I think just a lab is a cheap solution to get him some more magi.
Yeah, and ways are excellent. They really are nice.
Where are we here? Way.
They're, I guess I'll...
Two, blood one with random, so... Yeah, they're a fine mage. That's probably what he's doing.
They also make excellent, absolutely excellent black card assassins.
Good point.
Yeah. What do they turn into? Oh, a jaguar? I don't remember that, but yeah.
I've hardly ever used... I haven't played Middle Age Xibalba in a long time.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking that's probably why he's labbed up the other one as well, his other forest.
Oh, yeah, he has.
Is he forting it?
No fort.
No, just a lab.
No fort, just a lab. So he's just going to be getting ways out of there.
That's very cost effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cost effective.
Okay, so that's Xibalba and Van and Pythium.
Well, and to follow that column, looks to me like Ashdod's doing very little. Enchant 4, Construction 4.
So he's alt 3, so this is for the super combatant. Enchant 4. I'm not... What is Enchant 4? I guess Twiceborn?
Also...
And Flaming Arrows, maybe, but I don't think he has fire access.
Yeah, but also... also some of the reasonably good death summons.
Yeah... Construction 4, Conjuration 3, Alt 6. So Alt 6 is the darkness for making things dark. The wet, what does he get to 4? Maybe he meant 5, because at 5 you get Quagmire and you get some other stuff. At 4 you get Anti-Magic.
Vile Water.
Poison Ward, maybe?
Maybe.
Gelatinous Cubes are actually pretty good. Flaming Arrows, yeah, I don't know. He doesn't have air on his god, so it's not for Cloud Trapeze.
I've seen Xibalba Twiceborn some of its little cheap magi. I don't know if that's a good way to go, but I think they're pretty small. They're pretty cheap.
Community. I mean, Twiceborning the Zots is a pretty good idea.
Not bad at all. Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered that conflict now. We've read Xibalba's message. We've talked about the 3 nations. Next up, we have Jotunheim. Damn Arrow. Getting punished for going too lean on commander serves me well. Scripting hasn't been the best. I guess we probably missed it, but that last turn, he had 2 failed raids, I think.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Last turn was... Did we already cover them?
Yeah, last turn, he attacked Pythium in 2 places, and he bounced.
Right.
So we kind of must have missed that it was one of them was the commander got an arrow.
Right.
Well, I noticed that he ran pretty easily.
Yeah.
I didn't notice in the replay that it was that it looks like it was a commander death. It was in these 2 provinces here, 2 diagonals here.
And we've already talked about these from the battle perspective of Mictlan, but we haven't read Jotunheim's note. So you're right. That's absolutely what he's talking about here.
Yeah.
Scripting wasn't the best. Got to try to position my commanders better regarding Eagle's dive time. Hoping Mage... And you were saying he's tightened this up a bit.
It looked to me like he tightened his formations to keep his commanders safe.
Hoping Mage support won't be necessary with Eagle attrition I've witnessed. But Luck protection will be around if needed.
Okay.
Looking like Pythium is not having a good time. Xibalba on his cap circle and Vanheim eating him too. Vanarus really needs to take those 2 indies, but I'll take the time this buys me before he decides to go to war with somebody. Found illusionists in 293 or 239. Ooh, wait here. Did I type that right?
Really?
Well, we can't see a site. Check events.
Illusionists might just be independents, though. Doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know if this event has to do with illusionists. I don't think so. Did I type it in wrong? 239. Yeah, I don't know what he's referring to, but somebody will know and call me dumb.
Yeah. I'm not finding it in the mod inspector, but
okay. All right, so let's move on to Ashdod. Pretty disappointed in Luck 3 so far. Hoping it gets better when I can push my Dominion out as my god comes.
It will.
Ashdod Scouting Network. Flash news. Pythium getting elfed and frogged. Jotun stopping Mictlan. Remember, you heard it here first.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. About to head west to enter an early war arena versus Naba. Both Pan and Agartha expressed interest, so we'll see who is ready to move on their side.
Yeah, this is the one Pan told us he'd organized, the three-way.
Right.
And now Ashdod has confirmed. So that's useful information.
Yeah. Oh, God. I feel dirty being in three ways. I try to avoid them. Two ways are just part of Dominion's early games. Three ways, it's
the innuendo
dirty.
of that was really quite amazing.
Oh, yeah. I didn't. Yeah, probably. But three ways are dirty in Dominion's early. I don't know. There's a total difference, too, by the way, of somebody's really big and strong, and you actually need a three-person coalition to bring them down because they've eaten 2 or 3 other players.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between that and, like, your first war being 3v1.
Well, I had that in my tournament game with because he just had that hell blast and it was getting miserable. So we did end up 3-waying on him.
Yeah.
But he had a diplomatic problem, which was he kept pestering everybody so much that they all got fed up with him. That's a little bit of a diplo lesson, If the person you're talking to responds kind of in short sentences or small responses, don't send them walls of text trying to convince them.
Yeah.
I think you're misinterpreting that person. That person's probably doesn't maybe type fast or English isn't their first language or who knows. And they may just see walls of text as more annoyance than anything useful.
Yeah. My approach with Diplo is often the carrot and the stick, which is
Sure.
I'll give you, like, if I'm in a bad situation, I'll give some concession to you. But the concession may not be exactly what you want. And you might think you can get more in the course of a long war, but that long war is going to be expensive. And that's the stick part, which is I usually don't roll over and die, and I'll make you pay for everything you get. So
that's one of mine is if you attack me, it's going to be a long, drawn-out, painful affair.
Yeah.
I can guarantee that.
Yeah.
But no, I'm more talking about a style issue. The other thing I find is people who diplo with a really, really aggressive, I've got you by the balls, so you must give me what I demand. And then you say, no. And then they say, what do you mean no? Well, I don't have to give you anything. If you ask nicely, I might.
Yeah.
You get the funniest responses.
Okay, you're right. So, oh boy. We had White Centaur here. Some have moved here, but this is not the full White Centaur account because some are missing. I think we have another White Centaur stealthy thing. And given by what Sai's already told us, these, I'm guessing they must be somewhere in enemy land right now.
Might be.
Because there were a lot that went missing on this fort, and they are not accounted for by just the numbers in the capital.
And what's his... Oh, he doesn't have a lot of candles, but we're kind of guessing he can do 5 White Centaurs a turn, is my guess. So it's turn 14, right?
Yeah.
And he's lost very, very few.
Yeah. The other thing about these White Centaur is they are very mobile. He will be able to hit this province from his capital. And from here, because they can move through forest.
Right.
So it doesn't look like this is like troops on the border, but you can think of this too, like
but it
tons
is
of troops on the border. Mm-hmm. And I think he's got some other that are in here stealthy.
I'm kind of curious about what Pan's infrastructure situation is like. He did build 1 second fort. Is he doing any others? I'm thinking he's just planning to take forts.
I think he's planning on doing that too. But, the other thing with Pangaea is you get the Bramble Fort, but you have to have a Nature 4. And a lot of times you're waiting to random the first Nature 4, which it's common, but, you might not be you're not going to be making these guys during expansion because they're too expensive. So some of the Bramblefort timing is just luck based.
But I think that's going to depend on if Pan's making a Mother Oak rush. Because if you're doing that, then you're going to wait on the Brambleforts till you've got Mother Oak up.
Yeah, I think it depends on how good your research is, because you're likely, there's a very good chance you're going to have plenty of nature gems by the time you have Alt 5 to do Mother Oak and Light 2 forts.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not a really like a Pan expert player. But I played Asphodel, and I knew, and research for Asphodel is going to be worse than for Pangaea, but I knew I couldn't get, like, I would have hundreds of nature gems, like 100 nature gems by the time I had Mother Oak researched.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's just Pan is one of those classic nations that can rush Mother Oak quite effectively.
And they want to so bad, because it means they can just do free forts on all their forests. If they got that bonus 10 nature income.
Other than that, we can't. What's the little fight in Pan's North? Did he just find a scout or something? Oh, Pelagia attacked Pan. Oh my!
What a catch!
Oh my! Why is he doing this?
He's just being a little shit. He's an underwater nation. What's Pangaea gonna do? Go attack him underwater?
With his handful of mermen. Because I saw Pan had a handful of mermen, but...
You know what is funny? Pangaea could, in theory, send dryads underwater and seduce commanders. It's not that expensive.
No, it's just a case of... He gets a decent amount of water randoms, but no automatic, so...
Yeah.
Well, no. 50% of his center rides have water.
Right, so and that's enough to make Shambler skins and send some dryads underwater. Which, it's just a way to make these guys pay a tax for being a dick.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like, I think if he made it on land, he wants to get it. This is what he wants. That's why he's attacking this. He wants to go get in this pond and be a little shit. I know how underwater nations think.
Yeah, I'm just a little surprised because he made his landfall a nice beachhead to the north. I guess we're kind of shifting from Pan up the column towards Pelagia. Oh, but he lost part of his beachhead.
Okay, we'll roll with this. Let's see where we're going. Only one guy here. This looks like it... Well, no, but he sent the god. I was going to say, it looks like it's been negotiated if he put no PD here.
Maybe. There is another possibility is he just wanted to draw Sati out.
Thunderstrike. Yoink. So that's at least Evo 4. Okay.
So now...
I wonder how Satis is still doing in terms of research. Oh my god.
Way up there.
And the gem income still number 1. I am so excited. I am rooting for Satis so hard, and I know it's still. I just smile every time I see his turn.
Well, his situation is vastly better than it was, because he looks comfortable with the ability to block anybody coming at him. He's got a number of tools in his toolbox. Got that great gem income, so he could pump out large amounts of death summons at the last minute.
And with Satis, you can make 200 siege strength of skeletons very quickly with just the normal reanimation spell.
Yeah. Oh, and look down to his southeast. He just snagged 2 nice sites.
Oh wow. Yeah, this was from a Marshmaster. It looks like.
So a pile of water gems.
Yeah.
And what gear did he? I'm curious if he's upgraded the gear on his god.
I just went and checked. He has no gear on it.
Oh, okay. So he's still going strictly evocation on his pretender.
Oh, man. Okay.
Well, Sati's looking in nice shape. He just got that nice farm. If he can push Pelagia back into the water.
All right, I skipped ahead, Maryland. Forgive me, but I saw that he went for this. Oh, wait, this guy doesn't have as many fire gems as he used to.
Oh, he didn't replenish his gems. I thought they defenders replenish their gems.
I did too, and I could have. I mean, there were 5 fire elementals last, or 4. Some of them are going to be little bad ones from this guy, but.
But last time we looked at these guys, they had full complements of gems.
They did. Okay, I'm glad you remember that because I wasn't sure.
They had 20 or 30 gems each.
So you must be right. They must not have replenished.
No, there's no. I remember very clearly they had a big stack of gems. So that's only 2 fire elementals.
Are they going to fatigue these guys out?
I think he got a flank.
Yeah, he got a flank too.
Oh, that's why.
Some water elementals. 4 fire elementals might have routed this though.
4, yes, but
2, no.
But getting the flank was pretty important because he took at least one of those magi out early. One of those wizards.
Well, how about that? I could have sworn to God they replenished their fire gems.
Me too. I was sure that throne defenders do. I was pretty confident that ordinary gem carrying independents don't, and you can slowly whittle their gems away if you want.
All right, chat. If you guys know what happened here, put it down there. Because I was pretty sure you can't gem bait. Maybe it's like weak level 1 thrones with crappy mages they don't gem replenish, but maybe big hard thrones do. I don't know.
Maybe only the pretender chassis defenders replenish their gems.
Yeah. Somebody in chat's gonna know. We'll find out. I'll pin the comment. If I don't, remind me. But okay, so he now has the inner throne.
Nice. And free slaves?
Yeah, which Vanarus can use. I think they're a minor blood power, right? They get really expensive blood hunters.
I don't know.
They get the Vanabogs.
I can take a quick look.
I got it right here. Well, these guys are blood, but they're 350 gold in cap only, or 340 gold in cap only. And I don't think this. Okay, no, they can random into it with the sages too. Okay, they're like a light blood nation.
Nice for forging, at least.
Yeah.
But he's still leaving those couple. Oh, it looks like he's moving towards taking those cavalry out. Vanarus, the cavalry to the south. Those independents, because that's what Jotun was talking about. Is
right.
You know, if Vanarus doesn't take those independents, he might.
It's also a sign of weakness by turn 14 to leave independent stuff. Like, that makes me think there's like a problem if I'm your neighbor that I should be exploiting.
And you know? He did have one problem, which is he burned a heck of a lot of pretty difficult or pretty costly troops on that throne.
Yeah, and I mean, this is not, I mean, this is still expensive.
Yeah, another 12 there, and a heck of a lot of the other ones are going to be badly afflicted.
Yeah. If this guy had his gems, they would have lost this fight too. Mm-hmm. So maybe he knew, even though we didn't.
I don't know. Maybe. Who's playing that one again? Where the heck did we go?
You tell me.
Vanarus is. Come on. Oh, Mekon. Okay, I don't know Mekon.
Yeah, I've not played with him, but I've heard a lot of the people in the game know him. And he's,
it's quite different than Jotun leaving that one in the middle because no one can get to it. Jotun is left independent that he can take at will.
This one's so far into if you took this, it would be kind of a declaration of war. Like they're both. Well, this one maybe not. I don't know. If you took either of these, it would kind of be a declaration of war. So I can see why they're sort of safe, but somebody could also just take it.
Those independents that are still left in the middle of Jotun, those are burning ones or Abyssinians.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, it's a very valuable province, and they would be able to see the gold income because that will show up. But those dominions in there.
Those could be a little hurtful to take unless you're really ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, okay. So that we've done the Pythium. So Pelagia striking out into Pangaea, but ineffective.
And retreating from his beachhead by
Sitis.
And there's an amphibious army back in the water. Sitis taking the farm.
We'll come to Ulm now. Oh. Did I do everybody's messages? Okay, we didn't do in. We'll do ins when we get there.
I didn't. Yeah, we didn't. I don't think we read Xibalba's message either, did we?
Oh, we did.
Yes, we did.
Research. We just have N to do. So Ulm, big freaking force. Let's see if he's got any research. Oh no, no mages here.
Oh, this should have been very straightforward.
Yeah, I think he's...
Because the archers are just bouncing.
So he's either going to take this into the throne, which he honestly could get. I think this force actually would take this throne.
Yeah, that's mostly junk.
Right. And I don't remember. I'm sure they pinged it. I can't remember exactly what was there. But it would be nice if I were going for a throne. I would bring a mage though to do Legions of Steel and Armor just to lower attrition.
But an archdruid isn't much of a threat.
Yeah.
And Vinemen can't kill anything, and boars and deer can't kill anything. His only threat would be the Atlantean militias with the poison spears.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
But they have to at least do damage, I think, before the poison is applied.
Yeah. Okay, so he's got troops here. He started recruiting more guardians in his cap, which I like, especially if he needs to go to war with Pangaea. Mm-hmm. But he's getting to the point now where a war with Pangaea will necessitate... I mean, it depends on priorities. They could be going Alt 5 for Mother Oak, but by the time you get to turn 20, you have to assume Foul Vapors is going to be out. And so his window for fighting Pangaea is starting to shut down.
Yeah, and he does not have much of a solution to Foul Vapors.
Well, except these Shaman. This is the one saving grace, is he got these Shaman, but, you know, Ulm doesn't... Well, they want to go enchant 3, so they just have to go enchant 4 for Poison Ward. But they're usually going to have big groups of troops, and it's going to be hard to get inexpensive to get Poison Ward on that whole army. So
that's going to take a lot of shaman.
Yeah. And you have to site search to get nature income, because right now he doesn't have any. So he has to get busy.
I don't know what Ulm's play, what he might be thinking. Looks like just consolidating, tightening things up.
Yeah, going for thrones. We'll see. We'll see.
Unless he's making a play on Satis. But
I mean, if he takes this throne, he is pretty well set up to invade Satis.
Yeah. But he hasn't mentioned any joining in with any of the other action.
No. Okay, and then the monkeys.
He got it. Look at that. He did it again with the cheapo.
Yeah, just if your Marcata run the first time, you just whip them and send them back in.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
This is proof that inevitably, given enough time, Marcata can take anything.
Well, it's just that, people...
Run!
Good grief. Just buy the short and curlies. But people really shit on Macarta, and they're not great, but they're really cheap.
Yeah.
And there's some things they do well just because of that high defense.
Yeah.
And that weird little thing I commented that for whatever reason, the Macarta archers often don't get shot.
Yeah.
That's just a weird little thing I noticed. It was last year. I was playing Kalesa, and I noticed for some reason my Macarta archers weren't getting shot at.
Yeah. So we'll see. Okay, he's getting crossbowmen here, which is interesting. That's actually pretty good play. If Ulm attacks him, it's great to have crossbow as Kailasa.
He's got it. Lab up with his yogi.
And he looks like he's... Oh, yeah, where's the lab? Oh, right here. He's got to have a temple, too, though, to get the yogi out.
No, but he's got a yogi just south of it.
Oh, yeah. This is for the Jade Amazons.
Right.
Which is also going to be great for Ulm. Because he's... now, and Ulm doesn't know this, but he's going to have to worry about foul vapors from these guys and from these guys.
Totally.
And from Satis.
But you were talking about that army of Tiger Riders. I think he's going to scoop a little bit of Mictlan. That's what I think his plan is.
I think that going and sniping this and then coming back and taking the throne would be a great move.
Oh, that's a nice province to his north.
Yeah.
And he'd be quite large by that point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be great for him. We've done Jotunheim. We've done Ashdod.
Only briefly. I was curious. He had that one fight with his Anakites. Southeast of his capital. Right there. Was that in?
Oh,
Oh,
shamans.
that was lizards. Oh, wow.
And he wanted this one. He's been talking about this since like turn 4. So
Well, again, it should be lizard shaman. So.
yeah. So he'll be happy to have that. I think the only nation we haven't talked about is End. Or no, we haven't talked about Uruk, have we? Nothing's happening in Uruk.
No. Somebody probed that throne again. Or.
Let's see what it is. It's Uruk.
Here's another case where there might be a heck of a lot of gems. Not very many.
It's going to be a little bit of skelly spam, but not too bad. And then, yeah, this is an easy throne. I mean, aside from this is a substantial amount of barbarians.
But they're still barbarians, so any of the standard barbarian methods will work.
But he doesn't have those. He's got heavy infantry.
Yeah. Could be a painful attack.
Yeah, I don't...
When his army south can't get to it in a single turn, so he'd have to consolidate them on that farmland.
I mean, I don't think he can take it with what he has, to be honest.
No. Not yet.
Okay, he's pinged this one, which has Bloodhinge Druids and... let's see what the wizard is.
I'm guessing the Draco Lion flew on top of him.
Yeah.
It's a nice loot. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Yoink.
That's not going to be an easy one.
Yeah, I don't know what he's going to do for thrones. This is not something he set up to deal with very well.
Not particularly.
And then End, we got a message from them. Things are heating up. Seems Pythium got rushed by Vanheim. That's good news for me, as I'd much rather fight Vanheim than Pythium.
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe, but Pythium's very weak right now. Astral and Astral nations get really nasty with Magic Duel, and Pythium is the better Astral nation.
Okay, yeah.
I guess, yeah. I mean, End isn't going to love... I mean, if you're going to Magic Duel versus End, I don't know. It's not exactly a winning play. Okay, going to reinforce my Eastern army. Maybe I can get a few provinces out of that war.
Well, he better move fast.
Yeah.
because that's just about over.
Yeah, Western army is going to move in for the throne. Hopefully I can grab the Fire Throne for that sweet +3 attack. It's really strong buff to our Sacreds. We'll attack that next turn if Ulm doesn't beat me to it. For the rest, I'm building up. Reached 5 temples for the additional Dom strength, which means we're recruiting 13 Sacreds a turn. That's pretty big. Starting to focus more on mages now, and I also want to get my blood economy up and running. Okay.
And I believe he gave us a message that said he probed that throne, so he knows what it is.
Yeah, he has. He strided is what he did with this mirror.
Right, yeah, nice. Yeah, that's pretty nice.
So yeah, it looks like he's gearing up to take it. I think he can probably take it. Oh, this is the one that. Oh, they might bump.
Yes, that's what he just said.
Yeah. I don't know who wins. I think Ulm would win, but I think probably who has to fight the Independence is going to lose.
Whoever fights first, fights the Independence, is probably going to lose the bump. Yeah.
Okay.
Boy, next turn will be interesting.
Yeah.
Are we done?
We're done.
So, yeah. Okay, good.
All right. Thanks for joining, Maryland.
Thank you very much.
All right. See you all next time.